Hello,
guys, gals, and non-binary pals on our patron side of things. Hey. Welcome. This will be the last time that I get to run one of these After Darks for a little while, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Yes.
So, welcome, and yeah, you guys skipped most of the combat.
Really?
Yep.
We skipped most of the combat?
You skipped most of the combat.
Because it was fight the octopus?
There were sturges in the larder
if we went
here.
that way.
If you went that way. If you'd gone anywhere without one of the myconids with you, they all would have started attacking you.
Okay.
Continuing my streak of talking us out of fights we were supposed to get into.
Well, I don't think we were supposed to get into fighting the myconids.
I mean the octopus.
And that is exactly true, and that is the ruling that I want to talk about, actually, because it is classified as a plant in its stat block.
Oh, that's interesting.
The octopus is?
The octopus is classified as a plant.
Because it's infected with the spores.
Exactly. So it's effectively, a plant monster, but I was thinking about that and going, but because you're using such a very specific set of skills that I don't think anyone would have ever thought of, I decided to rule it as an animal for the purposes of being able to talk to it.
I think it's very cool, though, because I think a lot of underwater things, like in general, like kelp understand things, like seaweed moves.
Yeah.
Coral reef is alive.
Coral reefs are alive. So I think that's a really cool way to do that, too.
And I mean,
even if it was
technically, it should have been like a druid trying to talk to plants, but I wasn't going to split hairs over that one because I thought it was an interesting and unique way to look at the problem and solve it, and I wanted to reward that. And not throw something with 51 hit points at you.
Well, that was the other thing I was terrified of, because having played a druid that summons octopi before, I know at least some of what the stat block could be. And so I'm just like, I don't know how this is modified. My thing was, like, I wasn't sure if it was counted as, like, an undead creature or not. And so depending, because the being able to, like, communicate basic ideas to small underwater creatures, like, same thing the Tritons have in our house.
But it was just dead, right?
Apparently.
It wasn't undead. It was just dead.
It was just dead, being puppeted by spores. Which, if you want to get small enough, those are technically kind of alive.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense. It's like the way in real life that, like, fungal networks will take over other
parasitic ants
things.
And stuff like that.
Totally.
It's like The Last of Us.
Cordyceps.
Those things that function.
Anyway, I knew it was a long shot anyway, but it was like, this has definitely been, especially because it's the starter set, like, I'm trying to use a lot of my weird features that I wouldn't know. Like, I'm trying to use a lot more of those because it's like, I'm level 1, and I don't have much else going for me with my 2 whole spell slots. So
yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, they expected you to use the pre-gens, which had none of those sorts of things on it. So they didn't think about those sorts of things, about having, more experienced players playing the starter set, and I wanted to reward the thinking out of the box, so that was what we did.
That would have been a very interesting fight, though, because us too. When it comes to, like, underwater battling, that kind of stuff, we would have been useless. I mean, I don't know about it. I mean,
like, all my stuff is, like, fire-based. Like, I would have had one shot with my weapon and been like, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Which would have been a fun visual for us, too, to just be watching them fighting, because it's like, you can't do anything.
Can you bring it up here?
Yeah, exactly. Bring it up on land.
And the fact that the thing that was not the boss had 51 hit points kind of made me go,
that's
a lot. That's a lot to give to a non-boss, especially at level 1.
So, I mean, we absolutely would have had to have taken a short rest.
Yeah.
Or a long rest, perhaps.
If you had taken a long rest, and I can tell you that now because I think y'all are going to be booking it out of here after this.
We're not staying.
You would have had to roll against the poison condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
Because you were already starting to feel the effects of it with the red rimmed eyes. Good call on looking for that. But yeah, it would have. You probably would have been fine, but
yeah. So definitely a short rest. I could have used a short rest instead of your healing spell.
Yeah. No, I know, because you would have restored other things for you. Yeah.
But it was. I could have. Well, no, because I didn't use my head first charge yet. So I was down. I had 6 hit points. I could have spent 5 of them to remove poison or to cure poison condition.
Oh, yeah.
But then I would have 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Well, and also multiple
wait a minute.
poisoned.
That's a lay on hands.
Yeah, lay on hands.
So
For the elder, I think.
but it pulls from that pool. It's not pulling from you.
Oh, I thought it pulled from my pool.
No. It's based on your level and your HP.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is this? Can you explain it? I'm sorry.
So paladins have an ability called Lay on Hands, where you get 5 hit points. You get a pool of 5 hit points per level of paladin that you are that you can give to other people as a Lay on Hands. If you use 5 of them in a single go, you can cure poison. But it's all pulling from that pool.
Gotcha.
It's not pulling from your own personal life force. There's
Okay.
one spell that does that to heal other people.
There's like 3 spells that do that because most of my clerics have had them before.
But yeah, okay, so I read...
Life Transference is the one that I know. What are the others?
I don't know if you can read the size of the font on here. It's a little...
It's very...
What do you mean?
It's very small.
Yeah, you can't read that.
It's very small.
It's like size 3.5 font.
Yeah, I definitely saw the look on your face, Thomas, when the comments about 40 being old when it's being thrown around.
Well, you were playing your character. I thought your character was like 70.
I think that's her
agree.
gig. She looks like a dinosaur, but she's 40 years old. It's just like a lot of the things she uses, she's tried to make herself look younger, and it's just backfired on her.
working.
Yeah. But she does, like what you said, she's like, keeps it tight from the neck down.
I was like,
That night
works
cream is
out,
apparently lead.
Exactly.
yeah.
She's like,
Fun time.
yeah. That's funny though. That would have been.
Yeah,
That would have been interesting, but I wonder what the.
But I think, that goes back to the same point of you're like, don't bring a character up if they're just making saves and nobody's attacking them.
Yeah.
Because, so it could have cured him, but then we still didn't finish the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can still cure him after this.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll...
Maybe score bonus points.
Yeah.
If we felt like we needed to get information or something out of him so he could give us a heads up about what was in the cave, but it seemed like they were kind of like, yep, it's right in there, and we were like, yeah, I think there's just like a couple things to punch and it'll be
passed
fine.
out.
Yeah.
Now he's
Yeah.
passed up. Yeah.
You didn't think of moving him from next to the
Well,
It's adjacent.
and it was a blight that was coming through because effectively when this orb showed up, it blocked off the vent.
Airflow.
Yeah.
So all of that sulfur that comes up through naturally and always came up through naturally was being
settled.
trapped.
Gotcha.
And it was, so the only way that it could go was out through the front.
And I think I might, when coming back, might think that they were still lying though, because I'm like, wait, we came into this room, there was no light there was no sunlight anywhere. So
But
it's
there,
like,
but there was after the egg was broken.
right, but they kept saying, "Oh, we can't go in there in the sunlight." I initially was like,
Well,
oh,
they hadn't
these
really
little-
explored. Like, one person had gone to explore, he got sick and came back.
That's true. That's true.
But also, this is great with the interpretation
Sure,
of like how
absolutely.
characters process information. That makes
Totally.
total sense.
But
Liar.
if there's naturally sunlight in there, they don't want to go in here.
That would make sense
Yeah.
too. Like
Right.
before they've known it to have sunlight, so they wouldn't. But again, she doesn't. She's not
Oh,
thinking
of course
She's just like, why are these dirty little liar mushrooms?
Yeah, no. She's just running out Jacques Hughes.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, there was no light in there.
French, it's all French.
Yeah. Choose.
It is really interesting to think about I'm thinking more about the mechanics of this than I necessarily normally do because it is a starter set and because we are doing this interesting. We're like the stuff that we're playing is very advanced. This is not stuff you get access to in a starter set or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of interesting to think about the different ways that plays in because I did look at the pre-gen characters before we started playing to see what tracks they were going on because I assumed, and it's the very standard, you get an evocation wizard, you get a light cleric, you get a mastermind rogue, just the super, your super basic stuff. And so trying to think about how that plays, because the other thing too is you made a face at one point when I don't remember specifically what it was that Marlo said, but when we basically headed in or whatever, you made a face at one point where I was like, oh, was that the face of, I warned you guys there's one thing you shouldn't do at your current level, and now you're immediately going to the one thing you shouldn't do at your current level.
Wait, which part?
I don't remember. It was if it was when we decided to go to the caves, or maybe it was when I dove down at the octopus or something, but you made a particular face where I was like, I remembered that and I was like, wait, but why did we get all of the information about this quest if this was the one we weren't supposed to go on? Which is why I was like, I'm just going to keep going with it.
No, I think I know which it was because it does actually tie into the next quest. Y'all weren't supposed to hear singing.
And that's what I was going to say, because in my mind I was like, that's probably something that is going to come back later. That thing, but I was like, maybe we should just go there.
But I was also nervous about that because I was like, I'm giving them information that's not in the module that might make them go in a different direction. And I was like, I think I made that face where I was like, did I just...
That wasn't... No, it was definitely a reaction to something I did, and that's something you did.
That's fair.
It was very much a reaction. No, I just mean, like, it was very much a reactionary thing where I was like, oh, I'm kicking off the bullshit problem.
I think it was either... I was either thinking, God, she's gonna go attack it by herself, or
oh no, we have confirmation from the booth that Ben will remind us what the moment was that Alondra and you. I guess you could just say it. Yeah.
It was when you dove down with the warhammer on your own.
Yeah. Okay. So it was probably very much this bitch gonna go fight this thing on her own.
No, this bitch gonna go cause a distraction so that the boat doesn't capsize because I can repair the boat, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I was just thinking 51 hit points. 51 hit points.
I had 10. It was fine.
What AC did it have?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean,
standard octopus is usually natural armor.
Yeah, we would have been
11.
So yeah.
Nothing would have happened.
Which I mean,
but also I was only at a 13.
Yeah. What is it? What's its attack?
That's a good point.
We would just have to be able to
tentacles,
reach it.
melee weapon attack, 5 foot, 5 to hit, reach 15 feet, 1 target, 1d8 plus 3 bludgeoning damage.
That would rip through 4 first level characters pretty quickly.
Yeah, it could one shot all of us with.
Can you do fire spells underwater, or is it just negated instantly? I'm just curious for like actual gameplay.
For me, I would say yes.
It's negated.
No,
it's magic.
Oh, you can.
It's
fire's magic.
It's magic fire.
Oh.
So in my brain, it should work because it's magic fire.
That's very cool. Because in my mind, I'm like it just,
Yeah, we're both just like pew, 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 pew.
So that being said, bonfire though is very specifically you light
start
a fire.
Yeah.
Right,
anywhere.
Well, I think the concept to think about is that all
On
of
the ground.
all of the
Yeah.
spells
Specific. It's very
are
specific.
magical
Ocean
energy.
floor.
Well, but think of it like this: all of the spells are magical energy, and what we're talking about is the damage type.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're shooting your magical energy fire bolts underwater. The magic is propelling them, and then when it hits the creature, the type of damage that the creature's taking is as though it is being burned.
Got
Sure,
it.
and
Like an underwater, jet, with hot water or something like that.
And I mean that's part of why I think Tasha's thing about being able to change your damage type is very useful because that's
I
a bit more of a deep dive than starter kit
well,
still,
yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
We're in the patron
I
chat.
think Dewey's school allows him to do that. Change, something, a leveled spell from one damage type to another one that I know. So I could be like, I'm going to cast Firebolt, but it's going to be lightning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
And I wonder if that would work then with the absorb element. Like if you absorb fire, could you then recast
I think it's very specific. Like
Yeah.
it has to be
Might
the
have
same
been
kind that you.
yeah.
Because
Here's the thing: you guys are leveling up after this. You can change it out.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
No, I'm thinking there are, we weren't necessarily fighting things that would take a lot of fire damage. I think we were in a particular situation where if somebody used a fire spell on us that was not literally a fire snake,
Yeah.
we would have been fine
That's
if
true,
that
that's
was
a good
anything
point.
else.
If
I
you were
think it'd still
fighting
work
each
at
other.
all.
Well, I was gonna say, think about that spell though in a different context. If you're fighting an evocation wizard and he throws a firebolt at you, you absorb it, you throw it back at him. If he's just a human wizard,
Yeah.
he is also vulnerable to fire
that's a good
damage, much like you are.
However,
So,
that spell requires a melee attack. And
Yes.
as a wizard, unless you're Dewey, you don't run to the front.
That's true.
yeah,
That is true.
Yeah, unless you're doing it with his amulet of tanking. This is the flavor stuff that I love, and that's why I like that Tasha's has mechanics for it. But this is a thing that I talked about a bunch in a project that I haven't actually done anything with. It's just sitting solo on my computer, talking about different ways of taking spells and then using the kind of Tasha's rule to reflavor them so that it doesn't make anything too OP, but you can create your characters to have different you know, that thing that fits, because like you can be an evocation wizard, but what if your evocation wizard doesn't want to do fire? Can you still do evocation? And being able to reflavor it is like, well, what if your evocation wizard is super into meteorology and then everything is lightning damage and things like that?
He's deaf and it's all thunder damage.
Nice.
Like,
That's actually a great concept.
Because they have no idea that farts make noises.
Oh, that's delightful.
So part of me would love to see you two coordinate on replacing absorb elements, but also I really want to see you do it on your own.
Yeah.
See if you
what
choose the
comes
same
in.
spell.
Come back, see how much overlap you have. Yes.
I gotta say too, like, because I know this was gonna be like a very small, you know, like a smaller campaign. So like, this character was kind of just like, you know, I've always wanted to play Yzma because she's my favorite Disney villain.
Good.
But I cannot believe like bringing this in, finding a princess with the exact same thing, a hippo with like, I just want to dive in, hippo from space, and then this sexy pirate girl.
Not sexy.
It's an elf woman. But no, it's just so much. Like what you said earlier,
Grumpy
this is
does not
really
mean
fun.
not sexy.
It's a very fun, silly group that like, but they're meshing very, very well. It's
surprisingly
very fun.
well, actually.
Yeah, because I was like,
I'm enjoying it.
No one's gonna have anything in common. No, you're the exact same person, and you know.
The exact same is maybe the detrimental component.
Yeah, no, but it is fun because I feel like it could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yes,
Could
absolutely.
have been boring.
Well, and I feel like it's so easy to get really caught up in creating a character who's like very on their own track and doesn't find reasons to connect to the other characters. Whereas I think, especially knowing it's a kind of a short shot, I think we all kind of went, no, let's just have characters who would have reasons to stick together. And so it's just, you know, whether it's this is too good to pass up, I want to watch Crazy Space Hippo Man die for my cash. Or Marlo being like, well, I technically found my answer, but I don't really feel like going back to a pirate ship right now, so let's fight a necromancer on an island. Whatever.
Why not?
I like how we've just decided that there's a necromancer on this island.
I love how little you know about what's actually going on and how
now I
confident you
know
are
it's a
about
siren, but maybe the siren's a necromancer.
Is it a siren?
You got
Could
a
be.
broken ship and you're hearing songs.
Yeah.
Also, I got your shirt like halfway through, and you may catch it in this stream, but I'm like, because I was like, I totally understood it.
No, it's so good.
G.I. Joe reference.
All right. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap up for the night. It's getting late. So thank you all again so much. This was, first of all, thank you guys. This was a truly amazing table to run. It was a nightmare in the best possible way, and I have been having so much fun. So I'm looking forward to coming back in October, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, thank you, our wonderful patrons. I'm sad that I don't get to say that again from this seat for about a month or so, but we love you all very much. We appreciate what you do. We could do what we do without you, but we really, really don't want to. This is an amazing partnership that we have. So thank you all so much. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you around.